So, hey, John. For those watching, my name is Craig Souza, and I am interviewing John Renesch, who is one of the founders of the Conscious Leadership Guild and a dear friend. So, so John, just to kind of help other guild members get to know you a little bit, I'm going to ask you a few questions about conscious leadership and your journey. To
For sure.
begin, I'm wondering if you could tell a story about how spiritual wisdom has touched or supported your work.
Well, more than touched my work, it is my work.
Hmm.
Um, I started waking up in the early 1970s, and the human potential movement was what got me initially involved. And soon after that, there was still something missing for me. And that's when I had to get over all my religious upbringing and get into real spirituality. And I don't think you can have consciousness, conscious leadership, true transformation unless you have some form of spiritual component to it, even if you don't like to call it spiritual. A lot of people that I know are quite spiritual, but they don't like to be called spiritual for whatever reason. So it has not only supported my life and my work, but it has been my life and my work since a long time. 40 years.
So, just a little bit. So, 40 years you've been at this. So when we talk about just the dialogue about conscious leadership, what wisdom or experience can you offer? What's your contribution to that dialogue?
I think my main contribution is to keep beating that drum, the single note drum, that true leadership, at least in the existing world, true leadership has to become more conscious. That leadership without consciousness, with leadership without that context is almost dictatorship. That's kind of a strong word, but I'll use it. Short answer. I'm succinct, as you know by now, Craig.
Right. So what's your learning edge? I mean, what for you, like right now, today, the Guild is a learning community, or at least that's part of, why the Guild exists. So what's John's learning edge right now? What energizes you to discover and learn?
I think that depends on what day of the week it is, because I have different learning edges constantly. Like last year, I became much more interested in the non-dual nature of reality, the unity consciousness, which I've been aware of superficially for 20, 30 years, but and one way I learn about things is writing about them. So I started writing about them a year and a half ago or a year ago. But I'm also learning a lot and learning when I don't even know I'm learning in one of the projects that you and I are involved in. And I had a call with one of our colleagues in New Zealand the other day and had 2 or 3 sharp surprise learnings. I'll just leave it that way. That are still changing me. I'm still feeling like I'm being changed by them. So to me, learning or being changed and having that learning edge satisfied is part of being alive. And part of that comes from curiosity, having something come up and go, oh, what is that? I want to know more about that. And I can't do much about my body. It's 83 years old and it's going to last as long as it lasts, but I can keep my heart and my mind young through curiosity and learning.
So what do you long for? If you think about the future and your vision for the future.
I long for people to, I want to say, do better, getting along with each other and with our planet. But it's not just better. I know we could be doing better. Better is a continuum. I know we could be doing great at getting along together and treating our planet better and being more an integrated system with all that lives. And I know that's possible. We can do it. We're up for it. I shouldn't say we're up for it. I don't know if we're up for it, but we are capable of it.
Yeah, we're up for it as everybody else.
Yeah. Well, no, even that could be a lie.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I learned in talking to our friend in New Zealand the other day is how there's a comfort zone that people have as individuals, not only a comfort zone when things get too bad, but what I wrote about in one of my first books is a comfort zone when things get too good, which people don't think about usually. They just think about the comfort zone being this below my comfort zone. But cultures have a comfort zone as well. So I think all of us that are even in the guild might have a limit, a ceiling over our heads that we're not even aware we have. As the feminist movement used to call it, the glass ceiling. We don't even see it. So I think there's a place way beyond doing better that we could be doing as a species to thrive, love one another, take care of our planet, because our planet is our life support system. But it's not just ratcheting it up a few notches and doubling it or tripling it or whatever. It's actually reaching a whole different paradigm, whole different context. So that's what I long for.
And what kind of support are you hoping for or inviting from other members of the guild?
Well, the idea in starting the guild was that people that are members of the guild are already doing great work. But what if all those people doing great work could be doing fantastic work? What if they could be 100 times more effective in doing what they're doing? It would seem to me that that would accelerate the transformation that we're all hoping to gain from our work. So if it goes well and we all get very much better at what we do, we should see the world changing in a much different way.
So what is it about you, your story, your life experiences, your values? We talked about curiosity, that has drawn you to be so engaged in conscious leadership? Why has that been the thing that you've sort of dedicated, not sort of, that you have dedicated, a good chunk of your life to?
The short answer is I have no idea. I was called to do it and I did it. And it feels satisfying. I check in every once in a while, like every few years, and it still seems like it's my calling. As long as that calling is still there, as long as that horn is still blowing, I'll keep doing it. But why I'm doing it, I'm called to.
So something that you have said before that I love is when we talk about consciousness and what is consciousness and what is conscious leadership, uh, is that we're sort of trying to F the ineffable, and really,
You
just
like that, don't you?
I do. I love that. I love that. Because if you ask people, what is consciousness? What is conscious leadership? You get a lot of different answers. So what is John's answer today? I'm just wondering if it's kind of and how might that answer be different than it was when we met, I guess about 10 years ago? How's that evolving for you?
Oh, you saved the toughest question for last, didn't you?
I wanted to warm you up.
Um, well, knowing that I'm trying to F the ineffable, one definition that I've heard that I like about what conscious leadership is being 100% responsible for the impact you have in the world. It's a definition. It's not the definition. It's a definition.
Mm.
Um, a definition that I tried to make up. I made up before I got to the fact that I was still trying to F the ineffable. Is that conscious leadership is not only being very self-aware, knowing yourself very well and on a vertical basis, but also on a horizontal basis where you get into action. And that because you can be very conscious and be sitting on a mountain in the Himalayas and never have any human contact. But if you get into action, if you're living in the world and get into action and take that awareness that you have and bring it into your activity so that your life reflects that consciousness that you have, that you're holding as awareness or mindfulness. And that's a rather awkward definition of it, but that's as good as I can come up with in the moment.
Mm. So, final question. Is there anything that you think someone watching this video to kind of get to know John Renesch uh, should know? What would help? Is there anything else that you think would help someone get to know John a little better that you'd like to share?
Hmm. I'm drawing a blank. Um, in fact, maybe you as the interviewer could actually answer that yourself about me, because you know me pretty well.
I do know you pretty well. I mean, I think that the thing that I think it's a common characteristic, not just of you, but of many other folks in the guild, is this sense of curiosity and learning and and just that being fun. It's like, if I look at, you and your life, one of the reasons that I uh, was just attracted to kind of be in your orbit and and work with you is you surround yourself with like really interesting people doing interesting things, and it's fun. And
It's fun for people that are interested in those things.
well, yeah, but and I think it does have the possibility is there um, to actually change the world. It's kind of the Pachamama thing. Can we change the dream of the Western world? And and so you've kept on it for 40 years is pretty impressive.
Thank you for answering your question.
Yeah. And you're a good friend. So, well, John, thank you for spending a little time with us, so we can get to know you. And yeah, I guess uh, I'm not going to say we're done, but this interview is complete.
Mm. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.